All right, so today I want to talk about being an old fart knocker trying to find a job. So here's the thing. I saw this video and guy was talking about, being 45, being middle-aged, finding himself looking for work after being made redundant and how hard it can be. And this is a real thing. This is a real thing. Ageism is real. It sucks. It's not right. It's not fair, but it is a real thing. The older you get, the harder it is to find work. I'd say probably from about 35 onwards, but certainly once you get into your 40s, 45s, 50s, that kind of age, it gets harder and harder to find new work. Like if you've already got a job, like as long as you don't screw it up, you're fine. But if you find yourself out of work, whether you got made redundant, whether you left on your own terms, or whether you straight up just got fired, if you find yourself out of work, trying to find another job can be difficult. Truth is, a lot of places, especially the corporate world, prefer to employ younger people, and there's a lot of different reasons for that. And amongst those reasons is things like younger people are less likely to challenge authority. Or at least that's the belief. Some of you guys ain't got no chill. But yeah, you find a lot of times when a company has to choose between someone in their 40s who might have experience, might have knowledge, know exactly what they're doing, but they might be commanding a higher salary, versus somebody who's in their 20s, doesn't have the experience, maybe has a little bit of knowledge, but fundamentally is going to be a lot more malleable because they're not going to know much about how things work. So you can pretty much treat them how you want to treat them and they won't know any different. Or again, that's the belief. Some of you guys ain't got no chill, and good on you, by the way. And also, if you're going to the interview and you're in your 40s and you got like somebody who's like, 26 or something doing an interview, you probably know more than that guy. You probably have more experience than that guy. And for you as the 45-year-old, you might not even care about the fact that your boss is younger than you. I've had bosses younger than me plenty of times. I don't care about that. But what you might find is that some people are just very much in their own ego and insecurity. So for them, being the boss and having somebody who knows more than they do, has more experience than they do, probably has a lot more better ideas than they do, because they're fully in their own ego and insecurity, they just can't have that at all. They want to be the big man on campus, and they can't do that if people go to you for advice. So yeah, it sucks. The older you get, the harder it is to find work, even though you have the experience, even though you have the knowledge, even though you have all that you need to have. And another thing as well, when people say things like, oh, you're overqualified for a job, that's nonsense. You can't be overqualified for a job. That's ridiculous. I mean, technically, I guess you can be overqualified, but in reality, if a job requires this much and you're able to do this much, you can do it then. Like, why aren't you employing somebody who can easily do it? It doesn't make sense to not employ somebody who is overqualified. That is ridiculous. Definitely better to employ someone who's overqualified than underqualified, right? But like I say, people just be in their own ego, in their own insecurity, and just come with any nonsense just to not employ you. And the harsh reality is there ain't really that much you can do about it. And if there's people don't employ you, they don't employ you, whether they give a valid reason or a non-valid reason. If they're not going to employ you, they're not going to employ you. So the only thing you can do, or at least the only thing you can do to my mind, is don't be afraid to start again. If you've worked in the industry, you've been doing it for a while, you've got lots of knowledge and experience in that industry, and you're earning good money in that industry, and then you find yourself out of work, and now you're looking for similar jobs of that same level, that pay that same amount, you're going to struggle. You are going to struggle. It's not impossible, but you are going to struggle. So yeah, I say don't be afraid to start again. Don't be afraid to look at jobs that maybe don't pay as much, like minimum wage jobs. Even if they're not really in line with your experiences, as long as you can actually do the job, don't be afraid to look at that kind of stuff. Because one of the good things about minimum wage jobs is that not everybody applies for them, which means the competition is a lot lower. Furthermore, if you're willing to put in the work, show up, do what you need to do, work hard, all that kind of stuff, you might even find that promotion's a bit easier as well. So even though you're not earning the big bucks like you're used to, at least you're getting something and you can work your way up from there. Also, you can just get like a minimum wage job while looking for other work. Just have something where you got money coming in, even though it's not a lot of money. At least you got something coming in so you can pay your bills and do all the things that you need to do. Because what you don't want to be doing is living off your savings. Well, unless you got some crazy amount of money saved up, then maybe you're okay. But in general, you probably don't want to be living off your savings. Because if your money's going out every month, you got nothing coming in to replenish that, that's tough. And if you're in your 40s, you're still, 25, 30 years away from retiring, 25, 30 years away from collecting a pension. You don't want to be living off your savings for the next 25 to 30 years. Probably not a good idea. So yeah, just get something, get any kind of job you can get. Actually, let me not say any kind of job you can get, within reason. Nothing dodgy, you know what I mean? Nothing dodgy. You gotta have morals. You gotta have morals, you know what I mean? Nothing dodgy. But yeah, just don't be afraid to start again. Don't be afraid to, look at gig work, don't be afraid to learn a new skill or try to get some experience in something else. But at the end of the day, if you're in your 40s or older and you find yourself out of work for whatever reason, it's a sucky situation. But there are ways out of it.